Hey everyone, welcome back. Another one done, yay. Oh, just so excited to be doing these prompts again. Anywho, so this one is prompt 16, smile. And at first I was thinking of doing fan art and doing this cute pose that I saw, but then I couldn't quite draw the pose. So instead of remaining frustrated because I had already spent a whole day on the sketch and it just did not come out right at the end of the day. Wasn't satisfied with it. The next day I looked at it and I was like, nope, I don't want to work on this anymore. So I was like, it's good to know when just to walk away. Know your limit. Just be like, because sometimes it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. And sometimes it's a great idea. It just doesn't execute well, So I was like, you know what? There is a sketch that I just love that I did the other day. I like to go through Instagram and just sketch. And I really loved how this sketch came out. I imported into Procreate. I did the line art. Messed with it because I was like, I don't think her head's right. I don't think her ears are right. The earrings are off. And I played around with the proportions. And that was a lot less of a headache and was a lot more fun and just came out a whole lot better than the original sketch / line art I was trying to do beforehand. And I had so much fun doing this. I pulled out these cheap, not a brand name in sight at all. Watercolor pencils that I have had forever, and I was like, you know what, let me play with these because watercolor pencils are great to travel with, and even though I may not be traveling for a while, why not test out travel materials now while I have the time? Plus I wanted to see if I could get, like a blend of smooth watercolor washes and then the kind of scratchy texture you get from color pencils, and try to see if I can get a nice blend of the two. And honestly, I had a lot of fun doing this. Now I want some actual good watercolor pencils because no offense to these poor little things that have just been sitting somewhere in my art supplies for years. Because, you see them and you're like, oh, these are cheap. Let me try these. I've always wanted to try these. And then you just never do. So I finally tried them. I love watercolor pencils now, and I wish I had some nice ones. But sadly, I just spent a bunch of money on art supplies, so I probably shouldn't do that again for at least a month. Anywho, it was fun. I had some struggles. I accidentally grabbed the wrong watercolor pencils because even though I picked out the colors, I forgot to label them this go around, and these have numbers on them to use. I forgot to be careful just because I was having fun and grabbing them and playing with them. I knew a little bit about them, not a lot, and I didn't want to pull out my blow dryer because I wanted to test these out with the intended purpose of traveling with them. And usually if you're sitting on a mountain, there's not an outlet. And I say that because majority of the time I'm hiking when I travel. I know I'm always at this desk, but I dream of mountains. Anywho, I enjoyed them. I did. I was a hot mess here and there, forgetting which color pencil I was going to use exactly, and trying to figure out what kind of textures I wanted from these and how did it work, and then also learning that maybe if the paper is a little too wet, let's not go over it with watercolor pencils. Learning that they don't really transfer well if I do this. They don't get what I want when I do that. That kind of thing. And just learning what kind of textures from these that I do and don't like. And I don't know if I'll use them again. These specifically. I know I'm going to get me some watercolor pencils and use those again. But I don't know if I'll use these again because then when I was like, you know what, I can't just work on color sections because I wasn't liking how it was looking trying to draw on wet paper and then it being too wet and trying to work on it. So I was like, this little action I was trying, not working. I don't like it. It wasn't that it wasn't working. I didn't like it. I didn't like the textures. I didn't like how I was looking. I was like, and I was just, nope. Anyways, I walked away from that idea. That terrible, terrible idea. Maybe a different brand would have better results. But anywho, I walked away from that. Learned how to walk away from a lot today from this project. And I did, make sure to get all the colors I wanted everywhere, and then I started to go in with shading, and I like the texture I could get with shading with, my next project, I think I'll do watercolors with color pencils, and, put down the watercolors so I get color in the whole area, because, sometimes the problem with color pencils is that you need to build up layers, and, doing really big pieces is tedious, which is why anyone who makes like really nice color pencil artwork, I am just in awe of you, because I can't do it. Not just because my joints are bad or my short attention span. Oh wait, no, it's both those things. But the struggle can be, I like that texture you get from color pencils. I don't like the white poking through. So that's where this little experiment was born from. And then I'm going to try just putting down watercolor and then shadowing with color pencils and see like if I can still get the same effect or if I like that effect better. But I'm definitely not going to give up on these watercolor pencils, like the material, not these specifically. Because when I went to go sharpen them to shade, also, I think there was like a film on them because they came sharpened, and I think there was something like a coating on them because like I realized it was a lot easier to work with them after I sharpened them again. And then when I went to go sharpen them, fun bit, they kept breaking the lead. You're going to see a lot of me sharpening throughout this and just struggling to have something to work with. And yeah, this, when it comes to pencils, like any kind of pencils, color pencils, watercolor pencils, lead pencils, graphite pencils, always worry about the lead breaking. That's why you always try to go for more quality pencils, because it's like this, I paid so much for this. Well, either way, you spend money on something and it keeps breaking, and really that's it. Not really how much you spend, just that I invested in these and they keep breaking. Which is why, you get what you pay for, so that's why I want to get some more quality ones, just because I don't want to spend forever sharpening and sharpening and sharpening and sharpening. You get the drift. But at the end of the day, I had fun. I experimented, which is the whole goal of this prompt list, is to get me back into traditional art, back into the trying new things, testing out things. I wish I had tested out the background a little more. I knew I wanted bushes and kind of see if I could create like a layered effect. And I tried to do like this weird thing, like, ooh, maybe if I draw each leaf, it'll create a cool texture. And then like after like the 6th leaf, I was like, this is a terrible idea. And then, once I got to the 10th leaf, I was like, oh man, this looks awful. So I was like, you know what? I've committed way too much. It is too late to just completely turn this boat around. But it is not too late to try to salvage this. So I went ahead and just did that, but a little less, detailed, like a little less focused on trying to make it look nice. More like, let's get some leaves down. And then just watercolored that. And rather than keep it all sketchy like, and I used, like I wet the color pencil and like got color onto the brush, and then just went from there to kind of do that layered effect I wanted, because it was one, I don't know what I'm doing. Two, if it looks bad and I don't know what I'm doing, let's just stop doing that one thing. Anyways, it was fun. It was just chaotic, but fun chaotic. I learned things. I want to try things. It's the exciting part of art and the exciting part of trying stuff and it being like, wow, that's awful. Let's do something else. But, not quite give up on what you're doing. Just, that's not working. What else can I do? And it was fun. It's just so fun. I'm gonna say that like 50 times, like every video I'm doing now. It came out a lot better than I thought it would, because you know at the beginning you're always like, or especially in the middle, you're just like, it's this hot mess. But in the end, I got a pretty cute background and I got a pretty cute watercolor piece, you know? I mean, I did kind of like we mess up the paper in like one spot, but this is how I learn not to do these things that will cost that. All right, well, I will leave you here. Enjoy the video. I hope you did so far and hope you will continue to enjoy it. Do what you feel like, and I'll see you guys soon. All right, like, comment, subscribe. Bye.